Hello all, myself Dr. Shanti Verma. In today's tutorial, I am going to discuss object-oriented programming concepts in Python. This is the second part of the object-oriented programming tutorial. In the first tutorial, I already discussed what is class, what is object, how to declare a class, what is the init method in a class, and what is the use of self. Now let's first discuss the learning objective of this session. At the end of this session, you are able to explain the fundamental concepts of Python, which are encapsulation, data abstraction, public, private and protected data, inheritance and polymorphism. Let's first discuss what are the fundamental concepts of object-oriented programming. There are four major principles of orientation programming are encapsulation, data abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Let's discuss all these in detail. First, what is encapsulation? Basically, we can say that the object-oriented programming heavily relies on the encapsulation. Basically, encapsulation is achieved through achieved through abstraction. Abstraction meaning the data hiding. So we can say that the data hiding and encapsulation are the same concept, and we can use these names as synonyms. Generally speaking, encapsulation is the mechanism for restricting the access to some of an object's components, which means that the internal representation of an object can't seen from outside the object definition. Now, what is public, private and protected data? Basically, if an identifier doesn't start with an underscore character, it means this is a public and you can access it from outside. That is, the value can be read and changed. But you can also make a data protected and private. For making a data protected, you have to use a single underscore sign, and for making a data private, you have to use a double underscore sign before the name of the instance variable. If you are creating the protected and private data members, you cannot access from outside of the class, uh, but you can access through a private name mangling. This means a private data A can be accessed by the following name construct. You have to write instance name dot class name of A. Now, uh, if an identifier is only preceded by one underscore character, it is a protected. Protected member can be accessed like public members from outside the class. In this example, you can see that I make one class that name is encapsulation. I define one init method. Basically, this init method is called also as a constructor. The first parameter of every method within the class is a self parameter, and there are three parameters A, B and C. To access A, I take a one variable instance variable that is a public. So I write self dot public equals to A. Then self dot underscore protected B. So I make protected is a protected instance variable, and self dot double underscore private equals to C. So this private is a private instance variable. Now the following interactive sessions show the behavior of the public, protected and private members. If I write x equals to then class name and the values I passed, that is 11, 13 and 17, and if I write x dot public, in class I define that x dot public equals to A, so it gives the first parameter as a, that is 11. Now if I write h dot underscore protected, it gives the value of b, that is 30. Now if I assign x dot protected equals to 23 and print it, so I can change the value of protected variable also outside the class. But if I write x dot underscore private, it gives you an error that encapsulation object has no attribute private, so you cannot access this variable outside the class. So basically, the if you use a one underscore sign, the variable is protected, and the behavior is a like a public member, but they shouldn't be directly accessed from the outside. If you write a two underscore sign with a variable name, that is a private, and you can't see and access from the outside. And if you write a variable name without any underscore sign, then it means it's a public and you can access from inside and outside the class. Now what is inheritance? Inheritance is a basically powerful feature of any object-oriented programming language. Basically refers to defining a new class with a little or no modification to an existing class. Basically, the new class is called a derived or the child class, and the one from which we inherit the class is called as a base class or a parent class. So, derived class inherits features from the base class, adding some new features to it, and this results into a reusability of code. So, basically, inheritance is used when you have to reuse your code. The syntax for inheritance is a that is a you have to use a class, then the base class name or the parent class name, then the body of the base class. Now the second is a derived class or a child class, and you have to pass the base class name as a parameter in the derived class name. By writing this, we can derive the base class in the base class, and now you can write the body of the derived class. In this figure you can see that base class have two features, feature 1 and feature 2, and in the derived class have the same features, that is feature 1 and 2, but some one additional feature, that is a feature 3. So if I inherit base class in a derived class, so we can access the feature 1 and feature 2 of the base class, and we only have to add a one new feature, that is a feature 3 in the derived class. So base class code is used in the derived class. Then what is a polymorphism? Basically polymorphism is a Latin word which made up of poly, that means many, and the morphons, that mean forms. So if one symbol or one object have many meaning, then we can say we can apply polymorphism. Basically, this is something similar to the word having the several meanings depending on the context. Polymorphism means that the method or a function is able to cope up with the different types of input. Now let's take a simple example to understand the polymorphism. You can see there I take a one word cut that have a different meaning depending where it is used. If it is used by surgeon, then would begin to make a incision. If it is used by a hairstylist, it would be to cut someone's hair. And if it be used by the actor, it means to stop acting out of the current scene and awaiting for the directional guidance. So this cut have the different meaning in the different contexts. This is the simple example to understand the polymorphism. Now, in object-oriented programming, the polymorphism is the characteristics to being able to assign a different meaning to a particular symbol or operator in a different context. So, specifically to allow an entity such as a variable, a function, or an object to have more than one form. There are basically two kinds of polymorphism. First is called as a overloading and second is called as a overriding. Overloading means two or more methods with different signatures, and overriding means replacing an inherited method with another having the same signature. Now, Python operators work for built-in classes, and some operators behave differently with different types. For example, if we use a plus operator, it performs a arithmetic addition, or on two numbers. It also merges the two lists. It also concatenate two strings. So this plus operators have many meaning in a different context. And this feature in Python allows the same operator have the different meaning according to the context, and this is called as the operator overloading. One final thing to mention about operator overloading is to you can make your custom methods that do whatever you want. However, in common practice, it is follow the structure of the built-in methods. Now, what actually happens is that when you do P1 minus P2, Python will call P1 dot sub function and P2, which in turns is the point dot sub P1 comma P2. Similarly, we can overload other operators as well. This special function that we need to implement is presented in a tabulated form. For addition, this is a P1 plus P2, but internally in system, it is P1 dot underscore add P2. Similarly, for P1 minus P2 that is used for subtraction, it calls P1 dot underscore subtraction function and pass the variable as P2. On the basis of fundamental concepts of object-oriented programming, I give you two questions as assignment. First, explain fundamental concepts of object-oriented programming using example. Second, explain public, private and protected access specifiers in Python with example. For more learning, you can refer these references. Thank you.